How is everyone doing today? In this video, we are going to talk about the brand new buffs that we are going to get alongside the Clock Tower expansion and of course Idol Aoi and Ichigo. As you've seen from the video I had beforehand where we talked about the new celebration that's coming out, we are going to be receiving some Clock Tower buffs to 4 specific characters, and that is going to be SS1 Tojo, SS1 Kozue, SS1 Kanata, and SS1 Yanagi. Some of these are going to be better than others, of course. And today we're going to be looking at which characters have the better buffs, which characters are getting buff period. And not only that, talk about how that impacts other memoria that you may have of those characters, and also how important this buff is going to be. Starting off with SS1 Tsukassa, with her buff, she is going to be receiving a party attack up effect boost when she uses her EX skill. As you may know, SS1 Tsukassa does have a fire zone, so she will be a regular fielder if you don't have SS3 Megumi. I'm trying to remember all the numbers. If you don't have SS3 Megumi with the defense down for fire and also the regular defense down, actually no, I think it's just regular fire defense down, then you will of course want to use Tsukassa SS1 because this will be your fire zone. Not only that, with that buff we are going to get party attack up effect boost, which makes it so that any attack up buffs that you have granted from anybody on the team, you are able to increase by 20% the amount of potency, I guess you could say, or basically raise the boost that you're giving to your team when you use these attack buffs. And the reason why this is so important is because with this Tsukassa, this specific one, being a fire zoner plus being able to raise the potency of these buffs kind of meshes well with other characters, because there are going to be other characters that will be giving attack buffs. But not only that, to her SS2 variant, who has an attack up boost inside her other EX skill. So this is actually a really strong combination of EX skills that you can put on Tsukassa if you don't have a lot of fire supports for the most part. So someone like Yotsuha, if you don't have Yotsuha, this is a really good substitution, so that you're able to actually use this EX skill from SS1 Tsukassa, giving you more attack up boost. And then not only that, you also have the SS2 Tsukassa with that boost that you're getting from SS1, that 20%, you can basically gain that on top of the regular attack up. So this would be a 95% to 110% boost on your attack. So realistically, if you don't have Yotsuha, if you don't have a good fire support, then this would actually fare you very well, because not only will you get the zone, but you also will get the fire attack up and also the regular party attack up. And this affects the whole party, which is really nice. Other than that, she is of course going to help out any other buffer that you may have on the team, like Yinksha. Yinksha also does give an attack boost as well with her hit count buff, so this is also going to be boosted up by that, which makes it really strong overall for all buffing purposes and for the fire team itself. So if you have a Tsukassa SS1 and maybe even more so Tsukassa SS2, then you're pretty much set to be able to work around this buff and actually have it benefit you, especially if you don't have Yotsuha or if you're working on a fire team. The next one, which actually is very interesting to me and very exciting to me as well, is going to be Kozoe's buff on Clock Tower. Now Kozoe's buff is going to be a little interesting because we're also going to be seeing another boost effect, but in a different area. This Kazoa, as always, as many people have been using her, or maybe it's just me, I don't know, I really like this Kazoa. You get to basically give everybody on the field 5 SP except yourself for the cost of 13, which I think is really nice. It allows you to basically speed blitz your way towards buff, speed blitz your way towards a lot of the attacking portions of the game. And with this buff, we are not only going to get a party attack up, so this is actually really nice because now we're getting buffs from this move when it only gave SP before. And not only that, we are also getting a party debuff effect boost. This debuff effect boost is basically going to allow anybody on the team that is applying debuffs to again gain more potency in that debuff. So if it says decrease defense by 50%, 70%, there will be 90% and what was the other thing I said? It'd be 90 and 110%. I forgot the other number I said, but basically you're going to be boosting the potency or how good the debuff is going to be with this move. So not only that, not only are you giving stronger debuffs to the enemy basically, but you're also allowing yourself to get an attack boost as well, making it kind of a double layer buff in a way for your characters that are going to be on the team, and allows her to just do a little bit more, especially if you're going to be using this Kazoa's EX skill is definitely going to be good on other Kazoas in the future, just because it's a very general buff with giving 5 SP, attack up to the whole party except herself, and then party debuff as well, which is overall really nice. And not only that, she also gives that to herself, unlike the other 2 portions of her kit. So this is just a really good thing to have for Kazoa, specifically with giving general debuffs, a whole party boost even for herself, for like her ice variant of her memoria, where she's actually able to debuff ice, or no, it's not debuff ice if I'm not wrong. I think it might be only for her. Yeah, never mind. Oh no, that it does count as a debuff, my bad. Her fragile will be a little harder, or hit a little harder, I guess you could say, when matching weakness. And not only that, you also have the Thunder Kazoa from the exchange shop also getting a boost with the single target defense down. So basically with this SS1 Kazoa's buff, you are basically for the most part allowing yourself to get stronger debuffs if you want to use Kazoa herself, and then not only that, also with other debuffers that you may have on the team. So being able to give single target defense down, being able to give a stronger fragile, always really good things when it comes to having a support, being able to do multi-role portions of her kit, allowing her to debuff, allowing her to boost other teammates. It's just really nice to have, allows you to take a little bit of stress off of other units of them having specific traits or stats that you need to carry over onto your DPS. The other 2 are going to be not as important, but there will be one character that will be pretty cool to have for a really meta unit that a lot of people are using. But before we get into that, Kanata's buff is going to allow you to remove 3 buffs from hit targets. So this could work in I don't know how to say it. This is going to be a little bit of a okay-ish buff when it comes to allowing yourself to dispel one enemy's buffs. This can help in certain situations, like with enemies that like to keep attacking with their attack boost, and then they go ahead and do an attack, or maybe they just do an attack boost and that's it. Maybe they keep stacking defense, which that does happen a lot in score battle. But realistically, if you have a good enough team, you'll probably be able to just go ahead and burst them down before they get to that much of a problem. But it is cool to see a buff dispel type of character, and if you have Kanata and they're the only character that you have for damage dealing, then I guess this will be a pretty good buff for you to have, but not necessarily the most important thing in the world. The last buff we will be receiving is going to be Yanagi's buff, and now Yanagi's buff is actually going to be pretty cool for a lot of teams. Not a lot of teams, one specific team, but a lot of people have this specific character. This buff is going to give her a little bit more of a healing to her EX skill, but not only that, you also have charge. Now she already had charge on this if I'm not wrong. It's just the fact that you have more healing off of the EX, and you can also over heal with this EX, which is always a really good thing for healers to have, so that you're able to tank a little bit more before your DP gauge gets broken. This allows you to survive a lot more than just a regular normal heal. But with this Yanagi skill, being able to heal more and also over heal, this allows you to also have a really good sustain for someone like Inori, especially because Inori SS2 of course needs that charge to be able to get to using her crit pen move that allows you to just basically one shot everything in the game. As we all know, you really want to make sure that you're not using Inori's native skill of being able to give charge to herself, because it costs 8 SP and you already got to grind your way up to 18 SP. Not necessarily the fastest thing in the world if you're having to do both. The only good thing about this is that you're getting over heal, you're getting a bigger heal, and then you're getting charge for Inori because it's a party team party wide charge, and this allows Inori to just basically get off running a lot quicker. This is definitely going to be a little bit more catered to the score battle and also the Anachronis type of team, because that's when you will need a sustain for the most part. I know a lot of content you can just kind of burst it down with just straight up damage dealers or supports, but this is more for the harder content. This is really nice to have another sustain that's going to be a part of Inori's team. That way you're actually allowed to diversify where your sustains go. You can actually put Tama or Mua or any of those characters onto other teams. That way they can sustain them. That way they're able to be a part of those, because as we know, the Anachronis don't like to share nice with similar memoria. So this is just a really good buff overall for Yanagi, and definitely a really nice teammate for someone like Inori. Of course, Shiki is there to give charge as well, but you know, you have a sustain that's able to do the same thing, allow you to kind of diversify in where you're putting your sustains, allow you to put other characters in Inori's team. That way Inori can let go of some characters and give it to your other team. That's the only thing realistically that's important about Yanagi's buff. And then of course Kazoa being able to help out other Kazoa memorias and also the team itself with an attack boost and a debuff effect boost. And then Tsukassa being able to help her own self as well, and similar teammates that are buffing with her party attack up boost as well. Other than that, that's going to be it for the buffs that we're going to be seeing a part of this clock tower. Definitely try to get your hands on these two. If you already have them, really good. This is going to allow you to work around using especially Kazoa potentially, because I do think this is going to be a very important piece of the puzzle when it comes to her EX skill for future variants, because I know there's going to be more buff for Kazoas in the future, so that's going to be pretty important. Tsukassa realistically only works well if you don't already have Yotsuha for fire, and then the other two are just like quality of life. AoE, not AoE, single target dispel for buffs can help out certain score battles, and then Yanagi being just really good for Inori's team for the most part. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the next one, and peace.